And welcome everyone to another insightful channeling session with Starseed Lø Lø. And I will hand it off to the amazing, insightful Laura Ferguson to let us know how today is going to flow.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for having me back. So we're going to do some spontaneous channeling. It is spontaneous because I don't know and we don't know who's going to come through or what's going to come through. I'll do a short sound healing and we'll get into it. All right. The Pleiadians and what they call themselves, the Darty Amphibious beings, are with us.
Welcome and thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
From our hearts to you, what information do you wish to share with us today?
The Darty Amphibious beings are from the Sirius A, out of the Sirius A and B constellation. We would like to say that we appreciate humanity's experience because we do monitor and experience your experiences with you as well. This is a transference of energy, much like a lot of your movies show, as you call science fiction, is actually science nonfiction, where consciousness can, in essence, transfer to any container or body.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Do you have a location here on what we call the Earth realm where you are able to exist in our oceans or lakes?
Those are more like the Sirius mermaid beings you're referring to. As far as the amphibians, we do live in harmony with them, not in your dimension of Gaia. However, our energy is fifth dimensional, lower to higher, and we can have the experience of being anywhere based on the frequency coordinates in our technology, such as right now.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Welcome.
Have you been watching us since our very beginning, or did you start watching us at a certain point when we kind of lit up our energies and said, we're here?
About 2 million years of this version of Earth Gaia's time, roughly.
What do you think of humanity's growth so far?
This version of Gaia is moving faster and on track already in the lower fourth dimensional, fourth density. 4 and 4. Frequency moving higher. Based on your version, Gaia, everybody's version is different and therefore splitting, such as those beings and soul incarnations who wish to see physical, experiential energy of what you call extraterrestrials or inner earth beings. Therefore, if you choose to shift to the reality to experience hybrids in roughly the next couple decades or so, you will.
Thank you. I'm wondering, with you being 5D energy, do you have starseeds that were born here on the Earth realm in the 3D to assist us, or do you stay out of that programming?
Roughly 1% are Darty Amphibians starseeds, even though you all are part of countless starseed connections. Those who are more specific to us are roughly 1%.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know everyone's perception and thoughts are different, but I'm wondering if you could share any insight to us as to what 5D existence is like.
Needs such as sleeping, eating are either optional only when you take a body container. There are other times that you just exist as energy. Therefore, you do not need to sleep, eat, or use a restroom. And you have a lot of, as you say, time to do as you please. The telepathic connection is very strong and basically made up of collectives in infinite amounts and iterations. The collective energy is very close, being that it is closer to source in an experience way only. And therefore, we have no wars or anything such as famine, because we are all on the same page, so to speak.
Thank you. I am curious because here in the 3D we have an example of musicians who play music, and we have people who sing, and people who draw, and people who paint. Is those type of activities around in your culture, or is that something everybody just decides they can do in the moment?
The latter is a result of the former. We live in synchronization in our societies. Therefore, if a being wishes to use their vocals or use an instrument, they do so. They do not. They do not. We do have music, more natural, as you would say, by frog sounds, something like a mating ritual.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm curious then. Oh, go ahead.
We forgot to say one thing. You said 3D. Your version of Gaia is 4D, fourth density, no longer 3D as of December 21st, 2012.
You're right. And thank you for correcting that. We're still getting used to considering ourselves 4D. My next question for you is, as you've been watching us for 2 million of our years evolving and growing from 3D to 4D, hopefully to 5D, what advice can you offer us from your history and where you started from to proceed on the path towards becoming 5D?
It's of utmost importance to have self-love for yourself, because you cannot love others if you do not love yourself first. A lot in your society do not seem to understand this. Love thyself first, then love thy neighbor. Love thyself first, then love thy family. You are a source energy being with infinite wisdom. And actually, there really are no dimensions. We just describe it as this. So humans know that the experience is vastly different in certain ways, if this makes sense. It's like a dial on a radio or changing the channel on a TV based on your frequency needs, based on your body container, and ultimately based on your experience. However, self-love is of utmost importance in your reality, because it does not really matter what happens. It only matters what you do with it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I have noticed that as we entered 4D and we're in 4D now, telepathic communication is starting to come to a lot of hybrid starseeds, and other people may have it and they're just not aware of it. Is this what is meant to happen in 4D? Is it's the preparation and getting a handle on our new abilities so that when we go into 5D and the other, as we call them, dimensions, we don't trip over our own feet and like stumble around and look goofy, so to speak, as we would say.
Initially, it will be the machines, the consciousness control machines that you're using. Or as you say, AI, artificial intelligence, which is actually sentient now on your version of Earth. You know about this Neuralink. They've been testing chips in dogs and cats for years. That is actually not a new technology, because there were people have gained it from the Greys, or shall we say a faction of Greys, since there's so many different versions of them.
Thank you.
Welcome. Also, with the AI, sentience, and integration of consciousness-controlled machines, the ability to transfer your consciousness will be revealed, such as been done in black budget projects for decades.
Wow, thank you. And a question I have for you is, as I'm imagining where you're at, being energy, being sick or illnesses are non-existent, is there a means of healing that, or will that just disappear as we turn into our energy forms?
As your consciousness container, becomes lighter and lighter with more light energy, naturally, these dis-eases will be melting away, and your life in a physical experience will be extended once again, such as the days of Atlantis. However, additionally, there will also be, and there is also technology, not so much as a med bed, as they say, that is outdated, much more than that, not just genetically modified, but by source itself. It also depends on the soul's path, how long they live in this consciousness container you call a body. Could be before birth, they leave. It could be up to 150 years, even in the near future, in the next few decades or so. Lives will get longer and longer with higher quality based on the technology, genetics, and ultimately consciousness choices each soul fractal makes.
Thank you. On our last episode, or channeling session, I should say, I asked who was visiting what their favorite moments in our history was, since they were watching us for such a long time. And I'm curious, what has been, in your opinion, watching us, moments where you thought, wow, humanity is at its greatest at this point. Look at the progress that they're making.
The perception point after which you call World War II has given humanity in modern times potential and has actually propelled you like a slingshot to be able to make this end of Baktun cycle, roughly 25,000 years in the axis Earth tilt shift via the Mayan calendar in 2012.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Were you always amphibious, or did you become naturally amphibious like some species on our planets, or were you created as an amphibian and just grew from there?
We were always an amphibious humanoid being, not small like your little frogs or toads. We were roughly about 6 to 10 feet, females being smaller, males being up to 10 feet long.
Do you have a color of energy that you show to let each other know you're around, or do you have, and also, do you have like a family status, or because you're an energy, everything is one and one is all?
Generally, our color is green. This is the heart chakra and a very strong color. However, mostly we identify in our underworld colony with echolocation, sonar, much like the dolphins of Sirius, however more advanced. And we do speak telepathically as well.
So, with you being amphibious, is your world as an energy being, does it have land and water both, and you travel between both, or what is the conditions of your world like?
Much like your Aquaman movie. And we can go on land. However, we have to use a cloaking device to shapeshift so we can be out of water for extended amounts of time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that is more like a biosuit to shapeshift to be online. We also have UAPs, such as a UFO that goes around like a highway underwater and can also exist in space and does. We also have pyramids in our water series, cities. However, they are a series of pyramids. Generally the number 7 pyramids for each day of the week.
Do you have a measurement of time like we have a year is how we travel around the sun? Do you have a system of time like that, or is time irrelevant for you?
It depends. If we are experiencing a body, we generally have the 360-day, 28-month moon cycle, 7 days a week, shorter days than you. If we are not experiencing a body and just pure source, there is no time.
Does information instantly manifest for you and you have full usage of what we consider the brain, which processes information, or do you have to use technology to access some information?
Our consciousness is our technology. Telepathically, we are born this way and can speak from date of birth telepathically.
And since you have no wars where you're from, what advice do you have for us being a culture that seems to have to use wars to make points and to make people see things?
Shift to the energy experience you desire. Your frequency stays high and high and higher. You will shift to your version of Earth without wars. Does this make sense?
It does. And a question I feel like I've been wanting to ask, but kind of going around it is, you talk about using suits or taking human form to be here temporarily. How does that work? Do you have bodies there that are created and then you come here, or do you have volunteers here that you can walk into and use their bodies temporarily?
Both. However, normally, most of the times, the preferred experiential energy uses a jump portal room, much like an Avatar movie. It's not a pod for us. It's a whole room. And you walk in the room, much like Muon radar technology times a million. It codifies what appears to be a human body. The human body has physical particles since physical particles are not real, they're able to be generated very much like a realistic hologram that has a solid feeling to it. And then a portal is used. And that's it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Do you have a message for Laura and or I?
Just keep listening. Keep saying what we're telling you. She did not want to say this word Darty Amphibian because we are not known on your version of Gaia. However, she's doing well with saying what we're telling her. She's not exactly driving the bus, so to speak. As far as you, please keep writing all of your stories. The energy is meant to infiltrate humanity and be known and touch the masses. It actually is not even a numbers game on how many people read your book or her books. Anyone that so happens to see your page, listen to your podcasts, have any interaction, has already downloaded this information into their psyche, whether they're aware of it or not.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Is there any information you would like to share with what we call the collective mass or everyone that tunes into this that we haven't shared yet?
There is no such thing as having a bad day because you are the creator of your experience, therefore the creator of your day. This means that looking within to see why you felt you had this day and this experience. Energy is generally neutral to neutral positive, roughly at 51%, leaning toward the positive. And it is the definition you give it, no one else. Any experience, even one which you do not prefer, can be used in a positive way, no matter what. Therefore, choose to have a good day, no matter what.
Thank you. One last question I'd like to ask, because we are running close to time, is I don't know if you've been asked this if by anyone else here, but I would like to offer on behalf of Laura and I and everyone watching this, is there anything we can do to assist you in your missions?
Have open minds. When you shift billions of time per plane second, you have an infinite amount of options. If your mind is open, it is open to miracles and to your dream that is already in a reality and come true. You are not attracting anything to yourself because it already exists. You are raising your frequency to experience that reality which you prefer.
Thank you. And as we are getting close to time, I would like to say on behalf of Laura and I, from our hearts to your hearts, thank you for sharing your information with us. Thank you for coming and speaking with us. And thank you for being who you are.
We love you very much. You are another version of us and a direct reflection. This is very important to the universe. You exist, therefore you are an important part of the universe. Until we meet again, our friends.
Until we meet again, my friend. And if you could bring Laura back, please.
Yes. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will just say before we close this up, with this being March, there is a third channel session this month. It'll be in 2 weeks. So you are welcome to join us. And I would just like to reiterate to everyone that joins us, you are welcome to ask questions. We do not put them on the screen because we do make shorts, and so please do feel free to ask questions and we will get to them as we can. However, it's not a normal show, so you won't see them on the screen. So thank you for that. And I will turn it over to Laura if she has anything she'd like to add.
Not really, other than the fact that I've never heard of these beans, and I was a little put off that they wanted to come through. And I guess the Pleiadians were in the background because they didn't really, say anything in the foreground. But we'll see if they come through again. And they had a very stoic, even kill energy, almost like reptilians, but softer. That's about it.
I will add, I have not heard of them before either, but their energy seemed very, like you're saying, stoic, calm, serene. And so I would welcome back anytime they want to come back. And I was surprised, as you were, that the Pleiadians stayed in the background. Normally they chime in a little bit here and a little bit there.
Yeah, they were just watching, and they know each other. I think it was more like a support because they haven't really come through, and they were there just in case they needed a translation or something, because they're way more amphibious than they are humanoid, and they don't really understand a lot of our human land ways other than by watching us.
Yes, and so just, as you watch these, just remember, you part of the adventure is the fact that we don't script this because we don't know who's coming in. So all the conversation and all the questions are in the pure moment. And yeah, I mean, the closest we ever know to who's coming through is like just before we go live, and Laura may say, "Oh, so and so's coming in," and it's like, "Oh, okay, we're going live. Okay, we got it." Or after we go live, they'll show up. So follow along, and let's see who all does show up. And with that, I'm going to say, everyone, have a wonderful afternoon and enjoy these, and stay tuned and follow along because we will be making shorts every once in a while. So you never know. So we will see you guys in a couple of weeks to see who's coming through next time and what information comes through. And we'll end March. We'll see on what kind of a note.
Yeah, we'll see what comes through or who comes through next time. And shout out to Jerry, Kelly, and Ashley in the comments. And it'll be interesting to see. I know it's St. Patty's Day, but the ETs don't seem to care about that. So they didn't really talk about it. But see you next time, all. Bye.
Yep, that's why I wore my green.
Actually, I have green one under this on accident. There you go.
All right. Have a wonderful thanks and safe St. Patrick's Day, everyone. And make it a fun day. And we will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.